You know, there are so many different kinds of music that we can listen to nowadays. And I have somebody in the studio that's been making music for about 71 years. Eddie Eugene is in studio. Good morning, Eddie. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Real good. Pleasure to have you here. I know you're busy these days at Bartoli's on the Square, which is a kind of a nice spot in Mount Pulaski for folks in central Illinois to take advantage of. You've been there a few nights, and I understand people are really responding very well to you.
Well, I enjoy them too.
You've traveled all over. In 71 years, I imagine you've been in almost every state of the Union, haven't you?
I've been all over and overseas too.
Really?
Yeah.
Traveling with perhaps the best-known band we can talk about would be the Jimmie Lunceford Orchestra.
Yeah, I was. He had a stage show, and I was on the show with him. And then I was on one in Cincinnati with Andy Kirk and his band on the stage show. Then I worked with a lot of different bands down through Texas. Milton Lockett and his band. My father had a band, Boots and his buddies. And then there was the Carolina Cotton Pickers.
Mm-hmm. Back in those days when you traveled from one spot to another, I imagine it was pretty glamorous on that bus.
Oh, we had a whole lot of excitement, but...
What was the one story you started telling me? At one time you were cold on the bus, so you wound up putting a stove right in the aisle?
Yeah, we put a small wooden heater in it and run a pipe through the top of the bus. But,
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of relaxing. We enjoyed it. Majority of our fun on the road when big bands back in those days and see around the 40s and things, Benny Goodman, all the guys, they used to have ball clubs. We all meet each other, different bands, and play softball against each other.
How did you learn the business? Did you take music lessons?
No, I never was taught none of it. It was a gift.
Who showed you how to dance? I want to give people an example of what kind of stuff you're doing. Now, this is a new recording that was done at Bartoli's on the Square. Eddie Eugene giving a little sampling of his dance. Now, this is at what, 78 years of age?
Yeah, I turned 78 days.
You think you saw something in the Cotton Club? Listen to this. All right. Well, that's an interesting phenomenon, the interest in tap dancing. It was really big, I imagine, back in for years?
Yeah, dancing was the thing then, tap dancing.
What would you say, in the 30s, 40s, around in there?
Yeah.
And then it kind of lost popularity, and now it seems like there's just so much interest in tap dancing again.
There are a lot of people enjoying it now and wants to learn it. I even have some older people come up and see me, Eddie, you think you can teach me how to do that?
Yeah.
Well, like I tell an average person, if you got your mind made up and that's something you want to do, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like my entertainment, a lot of people have me, what makes me go over. Just like I tell everybody, I entertain to entertain myself.
If you didn't enjoy it, you wouldn't do it, in
No.
other words. I guess that's part of it. Plus, you like to get that audience reaction, I think. That live audience has got to be kind of a fun thing, no matter how often you do it. Yeah. What can you tell me about the Lunceford organization? That was around for a long time. Jimmie Lunceford, I think, was killed in a plane accident?
Yeah. Well, I tell you, Jimmy had an organization. The guys, they loved him, and they all believed in each other, and there was something about them that most big bands, Jimmy, Duke, all of them, it wasn't a plaything with them. It's something that they love. And
yeah. Of course, I don't know how much time you spent in music before you got tied up with him. I imagine you were with quite a few bands before Lunceford. You were born in Texas?
Yeah, Port Arthur, Texas.
Yeah. Live in Missouri now?
Yeah, Springfield.
Yeah.
Well, see, I worked around Kansas City lots, and up in Cincinnati, Ohio, Indianapolis, Las Vegas, different places.
Uh-huh.
And I found out one thing about entertainment is this. Once you learn it, you enjoy it. And as long as I've been into this type of work, I never did let it go to my head. That's where a lot of entertainers, once they get on top once, then it goes up the head and then...
Turn out to be a flash in the pan and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've actually, I'd say you'd have the staying power there if you've been at it for 71 years. What are some of the things you're doing at Bertoni's now? You're doing some singing, I know.
I do ballads, blues, and I dance. And I got to act I do with drums. I play with, take a drum solo and put the cymbal on top of my head and play cymbal.
That has to be uniquely Eddie Eugene's, I take it, huh?
Yeah. People love it, though.
Let me ask you this. There's some terms, of course, we've heard, and I want to, wrap this thing up with another song that you do. What is scat?
Well, that's something been on for quite a while. It's just a jazz rhythm of voice.
Jazz rhythm of voice.
Yeah.
Can you give me a sample of it?
Yeah.
And then maybe while you're doing that, the drum is doing something else, or you're pretty much soloing it there.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. What are some of the other terms? If there's buck and wing, I think, when it comes to tap dancing, right?
That's the old time, that buck and wing. And then tap came up. Then we had rhythm dance.
Mm-hmm. How do it's? I read a book on Fred Astaire, and of course he was considered one of the best dancers around too. But it was really hard for him to communicate sometimes with anybody else what he was actually trying to do. I guess there were terms for things, but I don't know. Dancers have a language all their own. Maybe they have to watch another one, and then you can figure out what the other guy's going to do.
Well, see, like me now, I can go in a theater and see a movie of dancers, and I can walk right out of the theater and do whatever they're doing.
Well, that has to be a gift, natural gift, I think.
And,
you either have it or you don't.
Yeah. See, just like a lot of time, people come up to me and say, "Oh, that was a beautiful step. Say, why don't you do it again tomorrow night?" I said, "Be surprised that y'all ain't going to be able to do it tomorrow night." Because when I dance, as I dance, my steps come to me. And I do them, and when I get through, a lot of times I don't really like singing. I can be singing if a band pick up in the wrong key and I can't sing in that key. I know I don't want to embarrass the band, so I keep on singing. And a lot of time I'll get to singing, and people say, "Ooh, that was a beautiful number you sung." But if I had to do it over again, I wouldn't know what I'd say. At that time, it just hits my...
Now, people hear that, and they say, but if you've got the talent, I guess you can do it. Yeah. That's called faking it, I think.
Yeah.
Ad-libbing.
Yeah.
Anything you want. Going to have a song from Eddie Eugene, who's at Bertoni's on the Square for you, right after this. We're back and we're talking with Eddie Eugene, who's been in the music biz 71 of his 78 years. Really talented gentleman who does it all, plays drums, sings, and dances. He's entertaining these days at Bertoni's on the Square. Let's get a sample for the folks of your vocal style, okay, Eddie?
Okay.
This song is called, what, So Long?
So Long. It was first, the record was made by, called the Chocolatiers, Billy Williams and a group together.
Okay, here it is, So Long.
So long, hope we'll meet again someday. Hoping maybe then you say, my darling, darling, I was wrong. So long. Gee, I hate to see you go. Yes, you really, really the one to me, you know. You've been mine so long. my memories of you, I can see that you're lonely too. You, my all, even though we're miles apart, I can see you, I see you, darling, here in my heart. I'm so long, so long. So you leave me in the cry. This will never, never, never mean goodbye. You still be mine so long. Play, 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 play. With my memories of you, I can see, oh, I see you lonely too. Well, you're my own, even though we're miles apart. Well, I see you, here in my heart. So though you leave me here to cry, this will never mean goodbye. You've been mine so long.
Oh, that's nice. That's recorded live at Bartoli's on
Thank
the
you, ladies and
Square
gentlemen.
in Mount Pulaski. Good job. That is really something.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a song that goes back a few years, I take it,
Yeah.
huh? About a guy who has lost his gal.
Yeah,
There's a story behind it.
yeah. Well, most of the tunes back in those days had a story, you know. Back in those days, I think people while a lot of records sold, most of the people that played them, they listened to the words of the song, and then
Mhm.
I used to see guys, they play a record and just go by the jukebox and just sit there and just.
Yeah. Some people listen for the instrumentation, I suppose, or the melody
Yeah,
of your voice. But yeah, there's a thought behind that in the words itself,
Yeah.
themselves. The lyrics
See,
just as important as
see,
the music.
Like I try to tell a lot of people, all songs you hear nowadays has a story behind them.
Yeah. How would you classify that song we just heard, Eddie? Would you call it kind of? It's not really blues. It's more of a ballad.
Ballad, yeah.
A blues ballad. Is there
Yeah.
such a thing as that?
See, just like Count Basie made a record called "I Want a Little Girl." You know, a lady asked me one day. She said, "Eddie said I heard I Want a Little Girl." She said, "But Count Basie played it's blues." I said, "No, I Want a Little Girl is one of the best old time records it was. It was a ballad,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of people didn't." Back in those days, I mean, it didn't go over. And
Yeah.
Basie made it into a blues, and it sold like hotcakes.
You know, time goes by here so quickly, and it's time for us to say so long, at least for this segment. But I want to thank you a whole lot for dropping by.
Been nice, and anytime you want, I'll come by and holler at you.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're at Bertoni's on the Square, which I don't know how many people remember the piano contest that we had out at the mall a while back. A fellow by the name of Tom Becker was in that, and he is recently, I don't know, how long, Tom? You've had it for third year of Bertoni's on the Square, 104 South Washington Street in Mount Pulaski, about 11 miles south and east of Lincoln. The place only seats about 80, and I understand when they know that you're going to be there, Eddie, the whole place seems to be packed, whenever that is, so you have to make reservations. No cover charge, but it'd be a good place to have a nice night on the town and enjoy some music. Area code 217-792-3991. That's the number to call. And what do you do? Basically take 51 south down to Decatur, or what's the best way to get there?
55 to 121.
55 to 121
At Lincoln.
at Lincoln, and that'll take you over to Mount Pulaski. People can find that easy enough. 104 South Washington. Eddie, again, thank you a whole lot, and I hope I'm in the kind of shape you're in if I'm around here when I get to be 78.
Well, darling, like I tell everybody, all you got to do is you're never old till you make yourself old.
Yeah. Well, keep up the good work and keep entertaining.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Eddie Eugene at Bertoni's on the Square.